Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to share with you my special guest today. So if you're watching the replay, stick around because we are about to have an amazing conversation that's going to reveal the real secrets to getting past our barriers to love. And pretty soon I'll introduce Amanda and she's going to share her story with you. But if we haven't met, my name is Macy Matarazzo and I am the CEO of Big Happy Love Coaching for Singles and the creator of the SuperLOVED system. And today I've just been so excited about sharing this with you because I've just enjoyed working with Amanda so much because it's so fun to see what can happen when you can put the SuperLOVED tools in action. So, Amanda, will you share a little bit about where you were when we first met and started doing private coaching together?
Yeah. How far back do you want me to go?
Well, I would say, I know we started your journey officially like at the beginning of this year. So,
yeah,
it's kind of cool that within the year you went from single to committed love, and maybe share a little bit about what was happening at the beginning of this year.
Yeah. So, I have a really long, complex relationship history, and I say it's in big parts from that place of, parent downloads where they didn't know what they were doing, understandably, but like a lot of us, and not really teaching great communication skills. So I was in a 15-year marriage and I left having an affair. So that was huge, like realizing I didn't know what I was doing. And then, of course, the next relationship I had was falling apart because, again, I didn't have relationship skills. And so that relationship ended through him having an affair. So here I am at the end of all these relationships going, oh, wow, I really don't know what I'm doing in this area. And I luckily have gotten over the place of beating myself up about it because I'd started to go down that trajectory of going, I need to work on myself here because I don't know what I'm doing. I think a lot of us think that when we start relationships, we somehow should magically know how to do them. And it doesn't work that way. And I thought that a lot of my life. I just thought, like, well, why can't I figure this out? Like, or, with my ex-husband that I was with for 15 years, I kept thinking, like, it's so hard. We're broken. It's not an easy fit. So it must mean it's a bad fit, and all those things, like making up all kinds of stories in my mind that I really had bought into. And so when I had these, few relationships, really a lot of heartache and a lot of feeling of, I must need to look deeper within to start to fix some of these things. And I had gotten to meet Nisi at a networking event quite a while back, and she had done a meditation at this group in a group style, and it was very impactful. And so this year, when I started leaning into going, okay, this is something I can potentially heal. I really want a life partner. I haven't known how to do it in the past. And who can I call on to be my wise woman powerhouse helper? And she is who came into my mind because I'd had this experience with her before. And so I reached out and I told her my quest for 2020 is to expand my heart, open up for love, and really heal my inner child wounds that are keeping me from having love. And I didn't know exactly what that was going to look like, but wow. We've done incredible deep inner work, and it has completely changed how I show up from my heart space. And yeah, do you want me to go? How much more do you want me to say?
I think that, I guess spoiler alert, you can say you have met your amazing person.
Yes. So yeah, spoiler alert, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, it was, Macy helped me along the whole way. It was like things that would come up when I would step out into the world to try to start going, like, is this a possibility for me? Something that I was really stuck thinking was like, love is hard and it's going to take up a ton of time. Because like, I'm a powerhouse businesswoman in the world and I love my business. And I thought, like, all my previous relationships have taken so much energy and work and it's felt sort of draining. And so I kind of had that belief going that like that was the way it had to be. And so Mace kept working with me, reminding me that isn't how it has to be. You know, not that relationships don't take effort, but, you know, it doesn't have to be this idea that like, oh, I can only have a successful business or a successful relationship, not both. And I want both. And so, you know, learning tools along with, you know, doing RIM sessions and going deep and learning tools in the SuperLOVED system, I mean, it's been a total game changer. So what was really cool is simultaneously I was working on my own manifestation skills, and she really helped me see how I could treat my love relationships like I treat my business in a lot of ways, like I be the CEO of my love life. And I was like, oh my God, it was so mind blowing to me. And I started to apply those principles and it totally worked. So, you know, for me, I was very adverse to doing online dating because I haven't had a hard time meeting people in the past. That hasn't been really where I've been stuck. It's more been finding a person who I'm aligned with. And so because of COVID, you know, she said, like, let's try some online dating. And I was like, okay, I finally decided to do it. And I had heard a lot of people say it can take forever. And it takes people various amounts of time to find somebody online. Totally understandable. For me, it happened really fast. And I think it was because we did such deep inner work that I was ready. Like I was finally really ready. And had I not done the work with Macy, I wouldn't have been ready, I don't think, in the same way. And so I might have kept attracting things out of that wounded place to keep learning some lessons. And so she helped me heal those things so that then I could actually attract from what I really, really, really want to create, which is a loving partner who is like, he actually used the words power couple. And I was like, I put this in my profile because it's something that Macy and I had talked to. And that was something for him that he was like, that's what I want too. And it just like, we're so aligned and it was because I was so clear about what I wanted. She helped me do my dating profile and like, we talked through it. And then it just, it was like, I tell Macy all the time, I'm like, oh my God, my life would not be where it is without you. And now it's like everything else in my life is just magnetically attracting all these awesome things because that love energy for me is a very magnetic energy. So in my business, it's just completely expanded my business to have this place of love where I feel so aligned in my relationship that it's not taking energy, it's giving me a ton of energy. And yeah, I didn't even get to tell you this yet, Macy. We got on the phone yesterday with a lender because we were going to buy a house together.
Oh my God, this is so phenomenal. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, and I love what you share because to me, what I think is sort of the next level opportunity for people when they really do the inner work and really can transform that space to have the greatest possible thing is that it becomes love as relationship as your success strategy for all things. I mean, your business is exploding, you're making more money, you're having more fun, and I love witnessing all of the residual bonuses that come when you have someone who's by your side. Would you say that's true?
Oh my! We were him and I were having breakfast this morning and talking about exactly that. We're like, oh, it's so easy, and then there's all these fun things that happen because it's like you get to feel different every day just when you wake up and you're like, oh, someone's got my back. We're playmates, we're friends, we're lovers, it's like we get to do life together, and so everything else in life gets to flow more easily.
Yeah. I love that. So will you take us back to some of those moments, like for people who are, wondering, like, what are those things that you recognize weren't actually changing just by your regular, like, yay, I'm going to be positive. Like, what were those things that required that kind of next level shift?
Something that you worked with me on that was really big was the belief around it being possible that I could have that kind of love. So it was like I was really questioning, like, maybe I'm broken, or maybe they're broken, like everyone else is broken, or I'm broken, or something, or maybe this just doesn't exist in my life for me. And so it was really you helping me tap into the resonant energy of realizing that it's possible, and then placing my focused energy and attention on attracting what's possible instead of trying to attract out of my past wounded history and keep, it's like we get into patterns. I mean, I would imagine most people that are watching, if they're like me, which the people I talk to tend to say the same thing, we have patterns of who we attract. And it's because you haven't healed that inner stuff. And so you really helped me heal those parts where I was like, oh, okay. Like once I see the world differently and I feel differently about myself, I can attract someone completely different. And then like having a taste of that, it was just even when I went on a few dates before, it was like even the quality of the people I dated there was completely different. It was like night and day. I mean, like just not even the same type of person at all. And it was like, oh, wow, I've changed. Like I changed from the inside out and it attracted something completely different to me.
Yeah, that is so, I experience that too. And I see it so many times with people, and it's hard to believe when you're on the other side of it that, oh, you could have a different quality of person show up, but it actually is true. And so the other thing I'm just curious about, I mean, I know there's people out there who probably are thinking, well, if it's going to happen, it's just going to happen. Like, I'll just let it happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And well, no one else had to invest in their love life. Why should I? Like, what would you say about like the value of actually investing in, because I mean, it's a big investment to do one-on-one and to like take it to the next level. But if you were to put a value on that, what would you say?
Oh my God, priceless. I mean, really, like,
yeah.
In this process, like it's funny because I know you know this because I've like directly reached out to you, but there's so many times a day where I'm just like, oh my God, I love Macy so much. Thank you. Like, thank you. I mean, because my whole life is so different from having this experience. And so for me, I work with people I don't work on relationship stuff, but it's like in terms of like manifestation-based business strategies, people invest high dollars to work with me. I don't think that you could ever regret investing in yourself in those ways. In the love realm, to me, it's probably one of those things that most people think they don't need to invest money or time or energy into. And I think it's the foundational root of all happiness, really. And then wealth building in other areas and all of the things. Like if you don't feel good in relationship, pretty much everything in your life sucks. So to me, it's probably one of the number one places that people could invest to change everything in their lives, but don't think they need to. And so, for anyone thinking about it or questioning it, I say go all the way in because it will affect every area of your life in a really powerful way. And it's life altering. I mean, it's just like, I don't even always have the words to describe how impactful it's been to get to work with you and change this part of my life.
I love that. Thank you so much. I mean, this is really my awareness is that, I mean, it's relationship is all there is. And I love the work you do. I mean, you work with so many powerful business people in the world. And I remember having a conversation with you and you're like, I end up coaching on relationship stuff too, because it's like always that part, whether it's relationship with money or relationship with ourselves and trusting ourselves or relationship with the world. But certainly, how many people have you seen struggling in their business because their relationship was not working?
Oh, yeah, a lot. At pretty much every person I work with, that comes up as a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't have that part of your life figured out, you're going to struggle in other areas.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's so true. And I feel like that is, how many things that we end up prioritizing, I know I've spent thousands of dollars on just like a yoga retreat and yet, was there good, what's the word? Did it appreciate in my life? Sure. But when you have someone by your side that, really gets you and is cheering you on, and that you have that relationship with you that is no longer struggling with these core wounds, that is truly what I love being a part of as
And
guide.
is brilliant at it. I mean, really, it's cracking me up because when you say that, it makes me think of how like we will go to lengths to even plan out, like, let's say because it's holiday time at the moment, we'll go to great lengths to plan out a holiday party. Like people will spend lots of money, lots of time, lots of energy thinking about that. But then when it's love life, it's like, oh, let's just whatever comes our way, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but then we won't invest in it. It doesn't make any sense. It makes sense because we've been conditioned to think that that's the way it should be. But ultimately, it's like invest in yourself to enhance your ability to love at a deeper level, and then everything else in life will come from there. So it's like so true. I so agree.
Yes.
One of the most important investments you can make, I believe.
Yeah. I so appreciate you sharing your story and just the like, I'm just curious, like, if you could have done this sooner, would you have?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say that had I known what you could offer, yes, but I think I was stuck in that place where I didn't think it was possible, right? So it's like everyone watching, like, really believe that it's possible for you and don't wait any longer, because you're just it's like if you start a year from now, then you have more time to wait. Like, life is short, so I would say absolutely yes. If I had known what we could create, you and I could create together to shift this area of my life, I mean, there have been years where I've struggled, like my whole life. I'm 43 years old, and it's been a huge struggle for me in my life. And so, I don't, there's no reason that people need to wait any longer. If you're here watching, it's because you're interested and ready to move in that direction. So, like, do it immediately. Well, why wait?
Yeah. I mean, I find that, like, I think about this time in our life, and my vision was always this sense of wanting to grow old with someone, and just really, like, even picturing being old farts on the porch, reminiscing about the past, and that image was something that really inspired me to say, like, that is what I always wanted. And so, um, you know, why waste these vibrant years where we get to play and travel and create with another person?
Yeah.
Is my feeling. But so one more question, because I think one of the things that I want to be really clear about, and you are, one of my favorite guides for manifesting. Like, you are really an amazing voice for manifesting in our life, manifesting money, manifesting a great business. Like, what would you say about that is misunderstood? Because one of the things that I know about the process, the SuperLOVED system, is that there is this connection to the vision, but there's also that aspect of taking action. What do you say to people when it comes to the difference between, like, being in the energy and being aligned with it, and actually the kinds of steps that you would take?
In terms of manifesting love?
Yeah, I mean, in what you experienced, because, would you say that there were times when it was more of a hoping and wishing space, and that part of it was, taking action in a different way? I mean, obviously you took action and reached out, but.
Yeah. Something that was really big for me in the process was something you said, which helped me. And I shared this before. It was like realizing that I could use my because I've done really well in my business using my manifestation-based skills. I don't know why I never thought about it in the love realm. It was like somehow my brain didn't make that connection until I started to realize, like, oh, you can put it out there. Because one thing in manifestation is that you can't control other people. So we often think, like, oh, well, then I can't get the love I want because I can't control other people. But you attract through your energy, right? And so what the work you and I did was getting my energy aligned to go in that direction. And the thing that was really, really big for me was to let go of the things that were no longer matched to what I say I want. So, my competing commitments process with people. So, it's like when those are not matched, then you're going to have a hard time manifesting. So what you bring to the table, Macy, is helping people get aligned with their conscious and unconscious, which is competing. So for me, my definition of competing commitments is when you say you want one thing, you're getting another, it's because you have unconscious and conscious competing commitments. So you're unconscious, you might consciously say, oh my God, I want like the greatest love of a lifetime. But then your unconscious goes, I can't have it. I'm not worthy. It's not worked for me in the past. I'm scared. I don't know how to do it. I don't think there's anyone out there. It's going to suck all my energy. Like all those things that I had.
Yes.
And that's what you helped me with. But it took me going to this place of like, oh, I really want it. And I believe it's possible to the point where I can at least reach out for help and see if it's possible. And
yes.
then just helped me weekly break down the things that were coming up in those disbeliefs. And then I'd get more aligned and a little more aligned and a little more aligned. And that's why it also takes time. It's not like a one session fix, you know, it's like, oh, we got to build some skills here. We've got to understand what's really deeply rooted and work through those over a little bit of time. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a big pivot was when I really decided, like, I'm going to cut off all of the things. Like I had multiple kind of guys out there that were interested, and I was like, oh, I'll just go on dates because it's kind of fun, even though I know it's not what I want.
Yes.
And when I really decided, I cut all that off because I was like, this is not aligned with what I want. And if I keep sending that signal to the universe that this is enough, that's what I'm going to keep getting. And what I really want is a playful, fun life partner. And so I cut all those things off, and then it just happened so fast. But it was all that work that you and I had done to lay the foundation of that to be possible.
Yes. And I think this is really important because, one of the things you said at the very beginning that I just want to underscore is that, a lot of this stuff has come from not just a failed marriage or the past relationship, but this is like the childhood things, the trauma, the witnessing our parents doing whatever that becomes then our idea of how you do relationship, which is, really just collecting from the world and not actually learning how to do it differently. I think it's even more exciting that you're talking about buying a house, because I use that as a metaphor a lot. It's like anytime you want to create something great, like you get support. You go to the mortgage broker, the lender, and you talk about, okay, well, what can we do? And then you talk with your partner and say, okay, well, what kind of space is going to work for us? And you do the steps and you get the multiple resources in a lot of cases. And that's what love coaching becomes. It becomes like being able to be smart in relationship. And being able to be the deliberate, I love that you've used this word a lot, deliberate creator, and getting aligned so that the inner world, that often the inner child within us is actually, following the grown-up, the inner wise version of us that actually can have the love relationship. And when we can have that actual neurobiology wired for security and safety to receive it, then guess what? It can show up and you can see it. Because how many relationships, I really wonder, do you have a sense that if you had met your person now 3 years ago, would you have recognized him?
No way. I don't even think I would have. We've talked about him, and I've talked about this a lot, where we're like, oh my God, like even 6 months ago, because the work that you and I have done in the last 6 months has been so critical to me clearing that stuff out that I don't even know that he would have appeared in my life 6 months ago.
Right.
It's just, I needed to clear those things out. And you're right. It's the childhood trauma. It's the conditioning. It's the programming. It's the romance movies that like tell you all these stories that aren't real. And it's just on and on and on. Right. And so, it's it's so big. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm so grateful for you sharing. Is there any last bit that you want people to know if they're just like, I don't know, could it happen for me? What could you tell them right now?
Absolutely, 100%. It can happen for you if you decide that you're willing to do the work. It doesn't I think for some people who grew up in lives where maybe they had those relationship skills taught to them, which is like a very small percentage of people, very, very small. It's like, then maybe, but like, you got to learn the skills. Just like you said, when you are ready to buy a house, you go to a professional to help you buy the house. When you're ready for life partnership and you haven't created it in the past, you need help, and that's okay. We all need help. Like I would not be where I am today without coaches and consultants. Like I just wouldn't. And so it's a huge gift that you bring to the world. I wanted to share, because you were talking about that secure attachment. The other day I realized, like I said out loud, I was like, oh my God, I'm finally a person who can be in a securely attached relationship. Like I couldn't before. I had so many inner hangups to it. And I always, I could go deep into the things that you've helped me heal, but it's been transformational on every single level, like cellular shifts in my being. And that's, if anyone is just getting to know Macy or has been with her for a while and has been like on the fence about whether you want to do this work, I'm telling you, you will, it's like worth millions of dollars long-term in your life. And it's the ROI. I'm a business consultant, so it's like I go from, my brain goes to ROI, but it's like the ROI is like 10 million fold, and maybe even in real numbers. Like you will get 100% of the investment you put out, and way, way more, because you will be changed from the inside out, which causes everything else in your life to shift. So you might be surprised some of the things that come up. It's not just about love. You're going to find somebody who you can connect with on a deep level and finally find that person that you've been wanting to find. But beyond that, it's like you'll feel more confident, you'll feel more connected to yourself, you'll feel more loving for yourself, you'll be able then to shift your stress level, your sleep level, your money, so many things. So do not wait. Really, like I tell people that Macy is a miracle worker. Like I'm so grateful that I've met you.
Yay! I'm so excited. And if you're wondering, Amanda, I do have a rainbow sequin pantsuit to marry you guys in. So I know you're probably like, I hope she has one. Yeah, I do.
I was counting on it.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much. And everybody, I'm going to be back in the group really soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your story. And I'm excited. So reach out to me if you're feeling this. Please message me. This is the time where we can start the process together, at least look at what it would take and map that out, because no one is an exception. I know you may think, but Amanda's this and Amanda's that. No, everybody comes in thinking, well, maybe this isn't, but I promise you that we can do a personalized prescriptive plan that will lead you to love. And how does it get any better than that? So thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you really soon.